Hi, I'm Larry Leach, proud Executive Director of 12 Community Safety Initiative, and this is DiverseCity. During the pandemic, we held 7 sessions over Zoom aimed at learning more about the diverse cultures and people in our communities. Our guest panelists were asked a series of 4 questions aimed at identifying some of the challenges they face, what supports could help, and how those of us in community can help welcome newcomers into our neighborhoods. Welcome to the 4th episode of our diversity series, where we share the information from our 4th and final question. I'll start by introducing our guest panelists. Mary Yang, Brenda Marmolejo, Ernie Alama, Daphne Hunt, Anthony Antonio Jim, Patricia Cruz, Jennifer Vu, and my good friend Core Top. Thank you for participating. I look forward to hearing all of your responses to the 4th question. Do you know any of the members of your community who are involved in community associations? Hey, Mayor, why don't you start us off?
Grade 12 is when everything kind of started. I started to become more involved in the community, and I kind of had an invitation into an organization called SYSS, and it stands for Sudanese Youth and Family Services. I think it was 3 years ago when I got into the program. Some of my colleagues and I, we just started to create programs and events for the kids. A few of my partners in SYSS are, huge members of the community associations like Dover. And we actually have our office there for Sudanese Youth and Family Services.
Thank you, Mayor. Over to you, Brenda.
I know people from my community, from the Latino community, who participates in other Latino communities. But when for example, because pre-COVID, I was volunteering for a few years in the Women's Center of Calgary, and I was actually part of the board of directors. And I participated also in the CCIS mentorship program, mentoring and supporting newcomers and in their process of adaptation and job search. And I never saw a Latino participating as a volunteer in those organizations that are not Latino organizations. I saw Latinos going for for the mentor to find a mentor or to look for resources in the Women's Center or things like that. But I never saw them participating as volunteers. However, I've seen Latinos participating as volunteers in Latino organizations. So that's maybe something that we also need to tackle, right?
Thank you, Brenda. Over to you, Ernie.
Filipinos in general seem to have some kind of, not for the second generation, but in general, seem to have some kind of inferiority when talking with people who are white. Back home, because of our colonial mentality, that we always look up to people who are white as better than us, and then we're less superior than them. When they're given the opportunity to take on roles and tasks in the community, then I think they can shine in the community. Like, I got a chance to shine, and I got a chance to take on leadership roles in the community. And I think if it happens to me, it can also happen to many Filipinos. It's just that, giving that opportunity for them, I think is a good way to start with.
Thanks very much, Ernie. Daphne, what's your take?
Latinos are, at least I'm going to speak for the Mexicans, we love joining communities. Like, we like communities. We like to be in groups. So more than not wanting to join, it would be more like, tell me what's available, and then I would join.
Thank you, Daphne. Take it away, Antonio.
I have so many. I've been here for such a long time, and I've been involved in many associations that I know each association attracts volunteers. Nevertheless, this is my concern. Except the Lunar New Year Festival, which attracted a lot of members to come, like I'm talking about members as large to come to the event. all the events are not that well attended. The Vietnamese Association has hosted so many forums, so many gatherings and so on, but attendance was very mediocre. They talk about some special topics for the newcomers, like taxation, like traffic, like healthcare, and so on, so on, so on. And yet the attendance was very dismal, and mostly the STP, the same 10 people. The STP, the same 10 people showed up, right? Of course, we appreciate those 10 people show up, but most of them have lived here a long time. Those topics are more for the newcomers, and the golden age that Miss Jenny belongs to still have like under 100 people. They should have like hundreds. So I think that we should somehow make the attendees feel more, or potential attendees feel more comfortable. They would feel that, okay, those sessions would be helpful and useful and relevant to them. And then we can reach out with more sympathy, empathy, and with more humanity.
Tremendous. Thank you. Over to you, Patricia.
I do. I have a very good friends in the community that has been working in the community association, the Colombian Professional Canadian Association. I know people from the Casa Mexico is also a Latino organization that provides services to the community. And yes, I do know them, and I actually know them as people, but also I see the effort and the work that they are providing for creating these activities to welcome their own community, but I also welcome Canadians. And I see sometimes with sadness that even despite that effort, events, people don't know about them. It's important that not just only us with our own resources support this, because nobody knows us here. Like you say, they don't know a Canadian. Imagine where is an immigrant in the level 0, so we have different barriers to go. So if we get more support from this or other mainstream organization, I think that will be even better to flourish those organizations.
Thank you. Jenny.
And Anthony, answer all.
Again?
In Pembroke, we have the community hall and support the communities. Yeah, we done a lot of workshop, get together, all the people in the community. Halloween night and some safety workshop for winter. Yeah, there's a workshop, winter survival.
If a community association either rents space or partners with a Vietnamese community association, would that make the Vietnamese community feel like that hall was more open to them to join?
Yes.
Very good. Poor, what do you think?
Years ago, because of the crisis in the families, in the community, that's the time that is our youth, the Sudanese youth, they become an enemy of the community at that time. So if the community has an event, they come and distract the event, the community event. Our community was sort of discontinued to use the Dover community and also the Forest Lawn community. We were suspended there. The Sudanese were not allowed there. But when we came up with the initiative, Meet the Neighbors, we opened up those avenues. We went and presented to the Forest Lawn community saying that we are going to have an event that is going to be Meet the Neighbors. For them to allow us to have an event there because of the history of the Sudanese community, they were like, what? But at that time, we were given a grant already by the city. So the committee were in that dilemma of whether to allow us or not. Then they said, okay, let them give the Sudanese the benefit of the doubt. From that time, we got connected with the Forest Lawn community and also with the Dover community until Dover community ended up giving us an office space where that Mayor referred to earlier. This is the initiative that we took as a community that led to all those progresses and that trust that was built. between the community association and the Sudanese community. The Sudanese as whole everywhere in Calgary, they feel that that's where they belong because they are allowed to freely to have activities and have the respect and honor, and it's something that we appreciate to the Dover community and also the Forest Lawn community. And that's how things change. Things change by a small, manner or initiative.
Thank you, Cor, and thank you to all of our panelists for participating in the DiverseCity series. We've learned a lot from your experiences and feedback. I'd also like to thank our viewers for taking the time to watch and encourage you to check out the Meet Your Neighbors series, where we take a closer look at the responses from our panelists and questions from our participants, as well as additional conversation regarding the various cultures. Thank you again for tuning in to DiverseCity.